Hey guys, back in the days, CD-ROM technology gave us a lot of storage and crystal clear audio. But now, 30 years later, well, drives are starting to die, media is getting harder to find, and of course it takes up a lot of space. Under Windows we are covered. There are really nice virtual CD-ROM solutions, but what about MS-DOS? In this video we will look at 4 options. The first one is running games from within Windows, but the other 3 options are in pure MS-DOS. So let's dive straight in. As always, links to all the resources and downloads of these programs are down below in the video description. Many DOS programs, you can run them from within Windows by using the MS-DOS prompt. We can use Daemon Tool. It's a virtual disk drive, and we can right click here and then mount a couple of disk images. Let's say we want to play Descent 2. Let's go for that image. It's a Q and bin image. Press open and it will now mount that image to the virtual disk drive. Descent 2 uses Redbook CD digital audio, and we can go into the accessories. There's a CD player here, and we can go to the second track and listen to some music. So let's go ahead and install the game. Let's have a look at the disk. There's usually some sort of a installation program. Install, off we go. It's now copying the game files to the hard drive. I chose the largest installation option. Most of these games, they give you a choice. Do you want to copy as many files as possible to the hard drive? That means it will load a little bit faster. Or do you want to save space and stream more data from the disk? Let's set up our hardware. Let's go with auto detect. We've got an AWE64. Yep, that sounds fine. So let's listen to the digital sound.
0, 0, 0.
That's working fine. 16-bit.
0, 0.
Also good. Let's test MIDI. What about Redbook audio? And this is the problem. Unfortunately, through DOS, we don't seem to be getting digital audio. But many games, they gave you the option. You could have the music run through MIDI instead of the Redbook audio. So at least with this method, many games will work, and the Daemon Tools virtual disk drive, it supports not only ISO images but also images in the bin and Q format. And here we are in the game, just to show you that everything is working as it should. So running games from within Windows, it's a mixed bag. Firstly, many games will not work, and then we also found that Redbook audio, while working from within Windows, doesn't seem to be working in the MS-DOS prompt. So you will see that most of the solutions that we're looking at today, they all have their pros and cons. And now we're moving to pure MS-DOS. There are 3 options to consider. Reality is many games will not run from within Windows. So for maximum compatibility, you want to shut the computer down and boot into MS-DOS mode. Let me just run a batch file to initialize our Sound Blaster. There you go. Well, there is some software that lets us mount an ISO image under DOS. There are 2 programs that we need to accomplish this. The first one is this one, SHSUCDHD. Let's run it with the question mark command to see the options. So we need to run the command with /f:/ and then specify the location of an ISO image file. I have a copy of the System Shock ISO located on my hard drive. Press enter and we can see a confirmation. Pay attention to the top where it says installs as SHSU-CDH. We will need that string. And the second program we need is this one here, SHSU-CDX. Let's also run it with the question mark to see what the prompts are. There's a lot more going on with this one. So we run the command with the /d:, and then we need that string that I mentioned earlier, shsu -cdh, press enter. We get a confirmation the ISO image is now mounted on D. So let's have a look. Here we go. Let's install System Shock. Let's set up the sound system, music card. We've got an AW card. Auto setup, all good. Digital card, also Sound Blaster, AWE, auto setup, good to go. Let's listen to the music. That's working fine. What about the digital card?
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone.
So there you go. That's all looking pretty good. I really like this method because mounting ISO files, well, it's very straightforward. The downsides are performance. Loading times are increased because of the emulation overhead, and there's no support for Redbook audio and also no support for bin and queue images, so you will have to convert them to ISO to play games like Descent 2, for example. That game will work without Redbook audio. You can just listen to the music through MIDI, but because the disk images are in the bin queue format, we can't use it like that with this method. We have to convert it into an ISO first. So mounting ISO files directly from MS-DOS is very convenient. Now you might have to rename them because of the file name size of 8 characters, but that's not too difficult. Especially if you have a large FAT32 partition, you can have quite a few games sitting there ready to go. The big downside is the performance. I mean, the machine I was using, it's a fast Pentium 2 running at 350 megahertz, and even that one you could really tell that the virtual emulation of the drive seems to be taking up some sort of CPU resources and slowing down the loading quite significantly. The next method involves a program called FakeCD, which involves copying the game files onto the hard drive, and then it will fake a CD-ROM drive. Let's create a directory where we copy all the files. Let's call it sscd. And then we run the following xcopy command. So this copies all the files into C/sscd. This one means it includes all the subdirectories, and H means it includes all the hidden files. And off it goes. This might take a little bit. So the game files are copied, but there's one more task we need to do. FakeCD comes with the infocd command, which will copy the disk label information into the folder of the game files. So let's run infocd with the question mark to see what we need to do. The game files are in C/sscd and the CD is in the D drive. There you go. We're getting a confirmation. The FakeCD.dat file has been created. So we are done in terms of preparing the game files. Let's reboot the machine back into MS-DOS mode. Here we go. Let's go into the drivers directory and we try out the FakeCD command. Let's run the FakeCD command with the question mark to see what the options are. So I think this is the right syntax. Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. FakeCD is now available as drive D. So let's have a look. Here are all the files and let's install the game again. Wow, so this loaded much faster. We don't have that emulation overhead that we had before. Okay, this is interesting. We're getting some file creation errors. Error code 2000 resource error. Could not open string resource. Let's try one more game. This is Crusader No Remorse. Unfortunately, when we have a look in the directory, there is nothing showing up. Invalid drive specification. So FakeCD was unfortunately a bust for me, maybe to do with the system I'm using, the configuration. Maybe it's too modern, too much RAM, too much storage. It could be for a lot of reasons, but let's try out the more modern replacement, FakeDrive. Maybe we have a bit more luck with that one. We have one more solution, and this one is called FakeDriver, and this one actually really surprised me. So FakeDriver has been developed by the same person that created FakeCD, but it hooks itself into the hardware CD-ROM device driver and therefore offers much better compatibility. And what is really cool, if you don't have a CD-ROM drive or you don't want to use one, well, there is a FakeCD CD-ROM driver. Here we have a look at my config sys file, and this is what I usually use for the CD-ROM driver. It's a CD-ROM driver from Acer, the VIDE cdd.sys, and then you just change it out to empty-cdd.exe. Now, just like with FakeCD, we need to use this program called FakeDriver. This one will scan the layout of the disk and create a bunch of files. And the cool thing is, this also works with disks that use Redbook audio. Now, it will not play Redbook audio, but it will save the physical specifications of the disk. And I tested 2 games with Redbook audio and no crashes. The games worked flawlessly. You just don't hear any music, but at least the games are running. In my boot menu, the first option, I've replaced the CD-ROM driver for that FakeCD drive. The second option and the third one still uses the Acer CD-ROM driver. So let's load the first option. And if you look towards the bottom, we can see here empty-cd has been successfully installed. And then we can also see a confirmation from MSCDEX driver. And now let's test a bunch of games. I've got 3 games to test. So the first one, let's mount System Shock. So that's under Shock CD and then D, and we are good to go. And here we go. We are in the game System Shock. This is the CD version. Let's go full screen, looking absolutely beautiful. And also the loading times are very, very fast. So installing the game, yeah, very fast. Nothing like what we saw earlier with mounting the ISO. Okay, off to the next game. Just some information on the memory. We can see that the FakeDriver requires 6 kilobytes of conventional memory, but the empty CD driver takes up only 240 bytes. So yeah, in terms of memory, it doesn't take too much. Also, we can run the FakeDriver command and just use uninstall, and then we can mount a different game. Let's go for Tomb Raider. So that should be under Tomb CD D, and let's check this one out. And here we go. We have Tomb Raider running at 640 by 480. So this is a game with Redbook audio, but I didn't encounter any issues. So the way FakeDriver hooks into the hardware CD-ROM driver is really well done. What a nifty little program. And yeah, no issues whatsoever. Fast loading times. You don't get that annoying CD-ROM spinning up and down either. So it's a really nice experience. And let's test another game. So I'm just gonna uninstall the driver. So let's go FakeDriver, and the next game I have is Screamer Rally, I believe. So there you go. And here we are in the game. Everything seems to be working just fine. We should get some sound effects, but again, this is a Redbook game. We're not gonna get any music. But yeah, the loading times are fast. For all the games, I selected the minimal installation mode. Just turn down the music a little bit. It seems a bit loud. There you go. And here you can press escape, open the CD player, and you can change the tracks, but of course nothing happens. And here I want to make another addition. This program is so nifty. It has a mode where you can support the Redbook audio with a physical drive. So you can combine the best of both worlds. You can have the FakeDriver load the data from the directory, not from the disk, and then you can have the Redbook audio play from the physical drive from the disk. So you can get the best of both worlds. So fast access time by virtual disk emulation, and then working Redbook audio. For that one, of course, you do need a physical CD-ROM installed in the computer. But yeah, this is awesome, and quite impressed. I've only tested I think 4 or 5 games, but all of them worked without any issues. And the author in the README file mentioned other games like Warcraft 2, and there was another game, Dark Forces, also working. So that's pretty nifty. So I had to reshoot this part of the video because I wasn't aware of this empty CD driver, and that totally changed the outcome. So we had a look at 4 options. The first one being using daemon tools under Windows 98 and then running games from the DOS prompt. Well, the issue is many DOS games will not work from within Windows, and we also had issues with Redbook audio. The next method involves mounting ISO files under DOS. Very convenient, but a couple of problems. Only ISOs are supported, no Redbook audio, and the biggest issue is the performance. Really noticeable, even on a fast socket 7 machine, the loading times were quite slow. FakeCD didn't work for me at all, but the successor, FakeDriver, that one really surprised me. Now, you have to use the info driver utility to create some files. It basically scans the disk and creates a mapping of the physical structure of the disk to help with the whole emulation process. But once you've done that, wow, I was surprised. All the games I tried worked without any issues. It even worked with Redbook audio games like Tomb Raider, Descent 2, and also Screamer Rally. Those games worked fine. Now granted, you don't hear the Redbook audio. That sucks. There's not much we can do. But at least no crashes, the games didn't report anything off, and you were able to play the games just fine. Performance was also fantastic, very snappy and fast. So out of all the methods, FakeDriver was the clear winner for me. It works in pure DOS, you don't have to install Windows. Compatibility was good, performance was good, and yeah. Now, still, the market is ripe for a hardware-based solution. I'm not sure why we are not seeing any products so far. When I look at consoles, I'm getting quite jealous. There are lots of SD card based optical drive emulators available for various consoles, but us retro PC gamers, no solution yet. Now I've heard of a Raspberry Pi based solution, but haven't been able to test anything yet. So yeah, whoever comes out first with a decent product for a good price, I think they will clean up the market. I can't wait. So many games that I could test but can't because they're CD based, and such a device would allow me to do that. And as always, now I want to hear from you. What is your experience with using virtual disk drives under DOS, maybe under Windows 98? Share your experience. Have you used some of these tools before? What worked? What didn't work? What is your recommendation? Maybe there's something I haven't used yet. So eager to hear from you. I always learn something new. And that's it for this one. So thank you so much for watching, for all the support, and we will be back soon with another video.